These are the voices of the Caribbean. From Grand Bahama to Suriname, Abaco to Barbados, their lives have been shaped by disaster and debt. Their stories show the lasting impacts of hurricanes and unsustainable sovereign debt on their everyday lives. But they also reflect hope, resilience, and the belief in a better future. Hurricane Dorian's devastating impact on the Bahamas resulted in billions of dollars in damages. The need for recovery after the hurricane, coupled with the economic downturn from COVID-19, resulted in a substantial increase in the country's sovereign debt, which already presented challenges for sustainable development.
Following Hurricane Dorian, all three of the national parks in Grand Bahama faced some challenges. So there was flooding, destruction of infrastructure, and just a general change of the environment where these parks are located. Particularly at Lucayan National Park, which has the highest volume of visitors, there was damage to the dune at Gold Rock Beach, and the dune is completely gone. And so the efforts that happened after to restore that particular aspect of the park is a dune restoration project. The boardwalks and other infrastructure were damaged, and so the BNT had to take on the challenge of repairing that infrastructure and replanting and rebuilding the dune.
As reported, the debt surged from 32% of the GDP in 2007 to nearly 65% in 2014, and further increased in the aftermath of Dorian and the pandemic. The responsibility to service these growing debts limits the resources available for rebuilding while also reducing the government's ability to prepare for future storms. The cycle continues. New unexpected climate events and economic shocks force governments to take on even more debt, ultimately constraining growth and leading to more borrowing to fund essential services. The aftermath of Hurricane Maria left Dominica grappling with unprecedented destruction.
Dominica has experienced almost $3 billion, and that's in constant dollar value terms, in loss and damage from 12 hurricanes over the last 70 plus years. The largest is, of course, Hurricane Maria. Those loss and damages were about $1.2 billion US, which amounted to over 225% of GDP. So overnight, the entire economic base of the country was destroyed. Maria is acknowledged in the world as the hurricane with the highest loss and damage ratio so far in history. Hurricane Maria took place 2 years after Tropical Storm Erica, and Erica caused loss and damage of 95% of GDP. And in the wake of these two destructive natural disasters, Dominica has had to borrow, and borrow heavily to bring back relief, to recover, and to engage in reconstruction efforts.
Debt servicing costs across the Caribbean have risen by 150% since 2011. This escalation further constrains public spending and hinders critical investments in the education sector. These are some of the faces of debt and disaster in the Caribbean. People who are on the ground fighting for Caribbean communities. These are also the faces of resilience. Share these stories and help us build a future where these challenges are a thing of the past.